They're just more broke now and they make more money. It's the only difference. Everybody is not broke. Okay, this is a lie that they're feeding you on YouTube. This is a lie that people want you to construct in your head so you have a sense of belonging, a sense of communion among these YouTube groups. Everybody is not broke. This is a load of horse shit, okay? And people that are clicking on this, you need to hear it. People are not broke. The stock market is hitting an all-time high, continues to hit all-time highs. The real estate market is continuing to hit all-time highs. Wages are the best they've ever been. And you have this large group of people that feels like they're broke. The reality of it is, guys, and I want to be very clear, the world has always had a large group of people who feel broke. And whether or not you choose to live in this group of people is your own choice. What do you mean it's your own choice? I'm broke and I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, you're right. You don't know how to fix it. The reason you don't know how to fix it is because your entire life, you've never participated in actual growth. You've always looked for a way to pivot your sorrow and your belief system onto something that is easily available. We live in a world where most people are broke. Don't you get it? We've always lived in a world where most people are broke. That is the world that we live in. It's that simple. So I would guarantee people that are watching YouTube, that are clicking on the everybody's broke videos, how many of these people own stocks? How many of these people own real estate? How many of these people own cryptocurrency? How many of these people have a diversified portfolio? And what you'll find is that all of these people that click on this cult of being broke, they don't own any of these things. And the reason they don't own any of these things is because all they own is debt that they can't service. See, guys, being broke isn't hard. It's not challenging. In fact, it's probably one of the easiest things that somebody can do is to end up broke. Because it's very easy to make choices that end up broke. It's very easy to buy the shiny new car, the shiny new watch. It's not very easy to place yourself in an asset class or a real estate investment or a mortgage that you have to pay for 30 years. It's very hard to do that. So what people tend to do is they tend to over leverage themselves. They tend to enter debt contracts they can't service for long periods of time. And what happened was during COVID, when the money printing, which was the essential element that caused inflation. See, guys, inflation is caused by something very simple. It's an increase in the money supply. When you increase the money supply, it devalues what the currency buys in goods and services, and it increases the ability for people to assume that their increased money supply actually equivalates to actual wealth. And that was what happened during 2020 to 2024, 25, and then in the ending of it at 2026, yet we're still continuing to print money. So you have a large group of people that during COVID, they thought, and I was victim of this too, that things were going to keep expanding. Businesses, the goods and services industry, everything was booming. They thought that this was going to continue, so they over leveraged their debt load. They went out and bought houses. Remember, everybody went out and bought a house. Everybody went out and bought a new car. Car values soared, home values soared, stock values soared, cryptocurrency soared. All these things were happening at once, so it created a false illusion that this is how it is. Remember, everybody was talking about the new normal. Everybody thought the new normal was going to be this weird thing where everybody just has tons of money to service all this crazy amount of debt. So fast forward 6 years to where we're currently at. Now we live in a world where business is not booming. Business is just normal. Housing sales is just lower than it was. Maybe the business you work at isn't doing triple-digit profits. Maybe they're doing 30% profits. Maybe the corporate people at the top, maybe that differential, maybe their corporate payout shouldn't be as high anymore. That's the world we live in 6 years later. We live in a world that is a normal world, but it's obscured by the reality we've been living in over the last couple years. So all these people that thought that they could service all this debt, it was able to be serviced for a while. You know, people did a really good job. They were able to service the debt for a good amount of time. They were able to, you know, service the debt until food costs went up 35%, or they were able to service the debt until their car broke down, until their brand new car that came out of warranty broke down, or they were able to service the debt until their insurance premium jumped 35%. They were able to service the debt before all these costs came to reality. And that's what happened is basically we have a large group of people that pump the markets based on this idea that they could keep servicing this debt, and that COVID time was just this time that was going to just be the new normal. The new normal is not the new normal today. The real normal is a slowing economy. We have asset prices continuing to climb. So now we have what is called, people are talking about a K-shaped economy, where people that hold assets keep getting more affluent, and the people on the lower end of the K keep getting less and less. Now it's even harder for those same people to acquire assets than it was before the last boom, right? Now it's even harder for people to acquire assets in a slower economy had they just bought the assets when things were better. So I guess what we do here from moving on is that the world is not broke. The world has a ton of dollars in it, has tons of currency in it. What you do, guys, is you have to realize that every day forward becomes harder and harder unless you're outpacing the rise in living costs. Meaning, each day you wait to understand and recognize this, the harder it then becomes to recognize it in a future date. Because typically, the world that the world has always been is things always go up in price. Sure, things go up, they go down, but zooming out generally, we see an increase in price inevitably, forever. You always hear about the old guy that's talking about, oh, I remember when movie tickets were, 50 cents or $1, or when coffee was 25 cents. Those are the same people that are complaining about being broke today on the rising house costs, the rising food costs. And the fact is, guys, is that the world's always been like this. Things always get more expensive. We don't live in a world where things become cheap. So you have to try to enter certain asset classes on times that are accessible for you. You have to work harder at knowing when the timing of this is. That way you can use it as leverage over time, right? That's all I got, guys. Take care. Hope you got something out of it. Might be kind of a little bit of a riff-raff, but I'm just tired of hearing all this stuff that America's broke. America's always been fucking broke. They're just more broke now and they make more money. It's the only difference.